Have you ever found yourself in a relationship with someone who's supposed to care about you, a partner, a parent, but they seem almost dedicated to hurting you? It's confusing, it's painful, and it makes you question everything. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that exact question.
Right? That's the million-dollar question. It's the one that spins around in your head late at night. Why do they need to do it? It feels so personal, so intentional, and trying to figure it out can drive you crazy. But believe it or not, there is an answer.
So to get to that answer, we've got to do something that's really hard when you're the one in pain. We have to look past our own hurt for a minute and look inside their world. Because the first clue, and honestly the most important one, is that their behavior, it's not actually about you.
Let this sink in for a second. It is not about you. The entire game for a narcissist is to make you believe that every problem, every argument is somehow your fault. But the reality they try so hard to hide is that inside, they are a swirling mess of chaos they just can't handle.
So what exactly is this internal chaos? Well, it's a pretty nasty cocktail. We're talking about constant strain and old hurts, a deep, gnawing fear, an inability to trust anyone, and just a general bitterness toward the world. But here's the kicker. They have zero idea how to deal with any of it. It's like emotional incompetence. So what's their solution? They just dump it all on you. They make you the source of their misery.
Okay, so let's get practical. Let's open up our first case file and see how this actually works in the real world. We're going to look at something I call the significance paradox, which explains the really twisted logic they use to tear you down.
Wow. Just read that quote. Can you imagine getting to a point where you literally have to say the words, "I matter," to another person? To have to state something so fundamental about your own existence? This right here, this is the soul-crushing reality for so many people. And this is why it happens. This is the secret, unspoken math going on in their head. They operate from this deeply broken belief that for them to feel big, you have to feel small. For them to be a somebody, you have to be a nobody. It's not a partnership, it's a seesaw. Now, here's the thing. Wanting to feel significant, that's not a narcissistic trait. That's a human trait. It's called the significance principle. Every single one of us, you, me, everyone, has a deep, fundamental need to feel like we have value, like our life means something. But here is where the path splits, and it splits hard. You see, emotionally healthy people stumble upon this beautiful secret called the significance paradox. It's the counterintuitive idea that the best way to feel good about yourself is to help someone else feel good about themselves. You lift them up, you feel lifted up. It's a win-win. This chart just lays it out perfectly. There are two kinds of psychological math in the world. On the left, you've got the healthy logic, win-win. My significance plus your significance creates more for everybody. But on the right, that's the narcissist's logic. It's a zero-sum win-lose game. They genuinely believe there's a limited pie of significance, and for them to get a bigger slice, they have to take it from you.
All right, time for our second case file. This one's about what happens when a person's ego is so fragile, so paper thin, that they have to build this massive wall around themselves to protect it from, well, from everything.
So get this. The man who said this, his new wife demanded, not asked, demanded that he cut off his entire family. No more contact. And when he, reasonably protested this insane idea, he wasn't met with a discussion. He was met with a look of pure, unadulterated hatred, and she felt no shame about it at all.
So what on earth is that about? It's not about his family versus her family. It's about an ego so incredibly weak that it cannot handle any difference, any distinction. In her own family, she was the special one. She couldn't risk being part of a new system where she wasn't the absolute center of the universe. Anything she couldn't control felt like an existential threat.
So, we've looked inside their chaotic minds, we've examined the case files. It's time to put all the pieces together and deliver the final verdict. And more importantly, let's talk about how you start to take back your own story. This is the question, isn't it? The one that echoes in your mind. You search through every memory, every conversation, trying to pinpoint what you did, what flaw you have that made them treat you this way. You blame yourself.
And here's the answer. It's simple, it's blunt, and I hope it's liberating. What did you do wrong? You just showed up. That's it. You were just the person standing in front of them. If it hadn't been you, it would have been the next person. They need a target for their chaos, and you were just there. It was never about you.
So, the final verdict is this. It's a classic case of arrested development. All that cruelty, it was just them projecting their own internal junk onto you. It's a complete and total failure on their part to manage their own pain. Think of them as being psychologically stuck as a child, throwing a tantrum. And the hardest part to accept is they haven't grown, and they probably never will.
And that brings us to the most critical takeaway from all of this. Your job is not to be a trash can for their emotional garbage. It is not your responsibility to absorb their psychological damage. That is their work to do. Your only responsibility is to protect yourself.
Look, they're stuck rereading the same sad chapter of their lives over and over again. They don't know how to write a new one, but you do. So I'll just leave you with this thought. They can't write a new chapter. The real question is, can you? Because the pen is now in your hand.